Hi. Okay, so before we get into the video, I made a little Google Sheets document that I made into a web page. So if you'd like to look at anything, it's all in the description. And then here's the video where I kind of explain it all, but those are like the spark notes. So hey, thanks for watching. Have a nice day.
Hey.
All right, so at the time of this, I have about like 900 hours in this game, and I enjoy more than anything is experimenting kind of with some of the paths that maybe aren't the most loved, or just synergies in general. Wild stuff. Some of it's worked, some of it hasn't. I'm gonna share you guys with some comp ideas or some synergies that I think are pretty good or fun, or honestly probably a pretty good palate cleanser if you guys are playing and you don't know exactly what to do, what kind of comp to run, or you just want to experiment with some stuff but not waste the god knows how many hours of bad runs that I've done. That's kind of what this would be for. So I'll break down some of these kind of ideas and show you guys exactly how to play them and kind of what the idea behind them. So the first one right here is I'm going to start with this like stun comp. So this is the core of it right here will be these three. So what you're going to want to run is you're going to want to run Bulwark with him because shield attack skills do extra damage, and then it also gives resistance piercing. So you can run something like, your main thing is going to be Rampart. So it's Rampart, and you're going to want to master it pretty early, if not like the first in, because it stuns off a combo. So the idea with this comp is that you can stun a few different ways. So as long as you're running Rampart, you can run really whatever else you want to run. All of the stuns pretty much require combos, so if you want to run strategic withdrawal alongside this just to set up for everybody else, you can. Typically, when I would do it, I will run something along the lines of this. It gives you a taunt, it gives you, your stress heal, your typical kind of like man-at-arm stuff. And then with this one, you could either go rogue or you could go sharp shot. You could do either one. Probably what I would do is I would probably go rogue, and then your bread and butter is going to be pistol shot because when you master it, it stuns off of a combo. So something like this, you're probably going to want to run point blank shot just because point blank shot is good, and mostly because it combos. So ideally, it would be something along the lines of like Highwayman gets the point blank shot, and then right off the bat, the Plague Doctor will be stunned off of that. Something along those lines. Fill in the blank with whatever, whatever else you want to run with that. But the bread and butter is going to be getting a lot of combos, and it's going to be stunning. And now, I would say Physician, because Physician gives Disorienting Blast a 20% stun piercing. You don't have to. I just like that's to get the most value out of it, and Disorienting Blast, again, when you master it, is going to be your bread and butter. Even if worse comes to worse, if you don't have a lot of mastery points and you don't spend a lot into, if you don't spend a lot into these abilities, remember, pistol shot off of a combo dazes, Disorienting Blast dazes, and Rampart dazes. And if you combo 2 dazes, then that's a stun. So even before you get into any of the combo stuff, you can still do the double daze and get stuns off of that. This really stops. This is really good if you have, if you're struggling against certain, you might see like the big old fat guy from the sprawl, right? Something like that where you're struggling a lot. Obviously bosses, although you have to keep an eye on what their stun resist is. Something like that. If there's one big guy that you're struggling with, something like the Exemplar, that's what these are really good for, because you can kind of cut them down and at least give yourself a room to breathe, and you have multiple ways in order to do it. So how would I fill this out? Is I would fill this out with something that can combo reliably. So either the Occultist, because he can combo off of Demon's Pull and off of Weakening Curse reliably, or I would put the Runaway here. So you can have the Plague Doctor in the 3 if you want. You can do that. But I would say the best way to do this is to have people that can reliably combo, just to allow to get as many stuns as you can. So your bread and butter is going to be with Rampart. Again, if you master it, it stuns. If you don't, then it just dazes, which is totally okay. Pistol shot off a combo will daze or stun, and then Disorienting Blast will either daze or it'll stun when you master it. So again, this allows you to really kind of get a few different attempts, honestly, of trying to stun, and gives you kind of a room to breathe. Those are going to be this is going to be kind of the main comp with this. It lets you feel like you have control again. If you're having a few bad runs where you're just getting killed because of something, this is a good way to feel like you have control again. Okay, so there is a couple different iterations that you can go about this. This is the way that I like to go about it, is you run Instructus Duelist back here, assuming you have the Duelist, obviously, and then you actually run Aspirant and have him do Anamnesis. Bam. So when I run Aspirant, I run this right here. So the idea is, because with the Duelist, when you master Ruthless Instruction, it gives them, when she's in the attack phase, it gives her, or gives them, +2 stress and a free crit token. So how do you benefit? The idea behind this is you want to master this at the first in. The idea is, and you can take any kind of, you can go about this any way that you want. How do you get the best out of that crit token? The guaranteed crit token that you can give every other turn. So I would say I love Anamnesis. If you do with Anamnesis, with Aspirant, it can do a lot of damage. It can do like 8 to 11, depending on, you know, obviously trinkets and stuff, damage on all four of the ones that you're going against. As you can imagine, that's pretty big. You could do something similar and have to like a Warlock here and have that with Burning Stars instead. You could have the Leper, and you could have him run Tempest Leper and then buff him. The only issue with doing this specifically with the Leper is obviously you'll have to have some sort of a combo generation in there somewhere to be able to make sure that when you do give him crit, it just doesn't get wasted. If you would like to do this with Alien, you can do that. If you would like to do it with Lunge, you can do it with that. Basically, the idea is you're just gonna be buffing the hell out of one hero. Again, the Occultist is my favorite way to, with Anamnesis, my favorite way to do it. But I understand not everybody has experience with Aspirant or experience with using Anamnesis in general. So if not, like I said, you could put him in the back, still do Burning Stars, still do it with the Leper, whatever. It's a lot of fun. And then basically you would spend your first turn getting into attack phase, because that's the most important one. You get into attack phase, you do preparation, and then on the next turn you would be able to use Mastered Ruthless Instruction and give them a free crit. Another reason I like doing this with the Occultist is because the way that it works. So when the Occultist, she's gonna probably go faster. So when she goes, you do preparation. So preparation will gives you speed token, allows you to go at the beginning of next turn. If you use Chaotic Offering with him, it'll give him he'll be able to use either Anamnesis or Burning Stars on his turn. So she will be able to go twice. She will be able to use a preparation and then use Ruthless Instruction and give the crit token guaranteed before he gets his turn. So on his turn, he'll have that crit and he'll have the 2 unchecked power tokens and be able to either Burning Stars or be able to Anamnesis. So obviously that works similarly either way with, you know, with the Leper or with Lunge or whatever do it. But I think if you're going to sell out and you're going to go hard into buffing somebody in this nature, that I think, in my opinion, it should be AoE and it should do a lot of damage. But again, I understand, like I said, not a lot of people are kind of comfortable with Aspirant. So basically how it works is you preparation into Ruthless Instruction, and on your off turn, you would just use Again. So Again would give whoever it is plus 10 damage per stress. You're giving them 2 stress right off the bat when you master this with the crit token. So that's going to be right off the bat 20% extra damage, and then plus, you know, whatever stress that they already have. And then in the meantime, you're, you know, killing time, doing whatever, between, you know, using Ruthless Instruction again or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So also what I play this is, you could do this, honestly, also, if you really wanted to lean into the Again part, then you can do this with the Flagellant and have him do plus 90% damage, because he can pull stress on himself, which will give him more damage. That's another way that you can go about it. I would say that you want somebody, either you want like the Flagellant, either in any situation, you basically, you need some way of managing the stress to make sure that if whoever the Occultist or whoever it is that you're buffing is at 8 stress, that you can take some away and then give more with Ruthless Instruction. So obviously the Jester would be really good. If you bring the Man-at-Arms for bolster, that's obviously a really good. Something like that, like I said, also with the Flagellant. So you're gonna be buffing the hell out of somebody and praying, you know, try to get some Milk Laden Cloth or some Holy Water or something, just in case that they get like a weak token, and you're putting your whole comp's success into somebody that ends up getting weakened or gets blind. This is a really good, it's a really good just dopamine one. Similar to like Night Sworn Lunge on the Grave Robber. It's just really nice to get the high numbers. And then obviously this isn't even counting like plus 20% trinket or 20% damage trinket that you can get with the occultist or with whoever you're buffing. But it just feels really nice. It's really nice. Once it takes a couple turns to get going, but once you get it going, it's really exciting. I like this one a lot. Okay, so another one that I really like involves the duelist also. It involves the damage part of duelist. So this, if you feel like the duelist is a little bit slow and you just can't figure out exactly how to go about her, go for some Encore. So I would say probably go Wanderer with this. If you're feeling gutsy, you can go Intrepid, and then whatever whatever it is that you normally run, you personally normally run whatever with the duelist. And basically how it goes is, the way I go about it is I run it on Trepid because I'm a psychopath. So what I will do is preparation on her turn, because she, depending on how the turn order goes, if you're running, I would say Virtuoso just because it's pretty clearly his best path, which gives him a lot of speed. But anyways, whoever goes first, the first time that she has a turn, whether it be through Encore or be through her own turn, you are going to want to, at least in my opinion, you're going to want to prepare. So preparation puts her in that attack stance, gives her the speed token for the next turn also, and then on the next turn, meditation. Because when you're in the attack form and you use meditation, it gives riposte. So it allows her to get that riposte damage right off the bat. If you're going for the achievement for it, obviously that's nice. It allows her at the end of turn 1 to already be in that riposte mode, and then you can do whatever you want from there. But it just sets her up a little bit earlier, so it allows you to get the damage aspect of her. I would say run this. If the duelist feels kind of mad at you. Now, is this worth it? You can decide that for yourself. It is, sometimes it feels really nice, sometimes it doesn't. Kind of depends on the riposte, depends on this, blah, blah, blah. So, you can fill this out with whoever you want. Just the main idea is right here is you're just going to be encoring, and then once the encore, after the first turn is off cooldown, or is on cooldown, sorry, that's when you can start getting into your normal Jester shenanigans. If you really want to, you can do something like, disengage and then put some in finale form, blah, blah, blah. But this is kind of the bread and butter for that. And it's a synergy that I like. Okay, so leper friends, leper fans, whatever you call yourselves. This is a really good one for him. So you're going to be running Tempest on this one because you like the dopamine and you're going to run the high damage. So this synergy makes the leper a little more consistent because it turns the blinds into a positive. So what you're going to run is you're going to run Maniac on the Flagellant. Maniac is essentially the debuff path, and these are going to be your main 4 skills that you run, and you can run really whatever your comp needs for this 5th one. So basically the idea is the leper has -1 speed due to Tempest. So with that -1 speed, he's going to be going last essentially every time. So anytime that he gets a blind token, you're going to actually take the Lash's gift, or with the Lash's gift, you're going to take the blind from him, and then either, I mean, if you want to try to 50-50 the shot with the Maniac, you can do that, but what is better than that is being able to sepsis it. So if you don't know how Maniac works on the Flagellant, is basically this turns into the debuffs path. So the idea with this is your Lash is gifting your teammates negative tokens, and then you're going to use sepsis and you're going to throw it onto somebody. So this actually makes the leper a blind token generator, and then the Flagellant will go before him almost every turn, and then he'll be able to take that blind token and then throw it onto them. So it's actually it's a really, really nice setup, because not only does it make the leper more consistent, but it means that the blinds become a positive. The Lash's gift does have a cooldown of 2 turns, So it's not, you know, something you can really do every turn, but realistically, this is pretty solid. Another thing to think about, though, the one little anti-synergy with this, I suppose, is that punish on this path knocks back. So if you are trying to like hit the person or hit the enemy in rank 2 and then push them back to rank 3, the leper's no longer gonna be able to hit them, at least not with chop. So there's something to keep in mind. Punish when you master it does combo, but it does knock back 2 also. So if it's in a situation where, like, if you're against a boss, for example, that obviously can't be moved back, this is actually really good because it's a combo every turn. And then if there's a blind token, you're able to take it from the leper and then throw it back onto them, blah, blah, blah. So you can fill this out really with whoever. This, again, if you don't know how this path works, this path heals a ton, not only on him, but then you're able to deathless and you're able to heal the other heroes. So you can round this out truly with whatever you want. I mean, you could, you know, round it out with like a runaway in here somewhere, or a, you know, highwayman with tracking shot or something like that, just to get a combo, just in case there is a turn where you can't latch his gift. But this is a really, really fun synergy. It allows you to play the Flagellant in a unique way, and it allows you to run Tempest Leper and run those high damage chops without nearly as much as the downside. Okay, so for the last nice little synergy here, it's going to be a little bit of a middle of the dance comp, and I'll tell you why I picked the Runaway and the Jester here. So what I would run with this is I would run Arsonist on her, and then really you could go either Wanderer, Virtuoso, or Soloist really for this one, depending on how greedy you are and depending on how exactly you want the speed to go. So the idea with this basically is it starts off with the Runaway using Dragonfly. So Dragonfly pushes her back to the 3 position. The Jester will then move into the 2, and then you have 2 options right here. So you can either, hopefully, when I do this, I master Dragonfly early because it gives a 1 in 3 chance to combo instead of 1 chance to 4, and that's what you're really going to be riding for. So it gives you 2 options here. So hopefully she would, if you can find a situation where she gets to go first, which Virtuoso, because of the speed, would kind of throw that off, but it's relatively pretty consistent, is she's going to Dragonfly. So now she's like this, and then hopefully there will be a combo and you can finale off of that combo. Hopefully it'll be relatively close to each other, like instead of 1 at the beginning of the round, 1 at the end of the round. And it allows you to, especially in the beginning of the fight, like really burst an enemy out, pending obviously like guards and dodges and stuff, but allows you to kind of control the fight a little bit more, because if you can make the fight a 4 against 3 pretty early on, that'll obviously put you in a good spot. And if you don't, if it either doesn't combo or it doesn't hit, or if the Dragonfly doesn't combo, Dragonfly doesn't hit, whatever, you can actually pivot with Fade to Black. And I would master Fade to Black kind of early too, because this combos. And worst case scenario, even if it doesn't set you up for a Virtuoso, setting up for a blind is still pretty good. Now, as you can imagine, this combos a lot. So there are a few different options that you can do, at least for the front rank. You can do really anything that has any sort of synergy. You can do the Leper if you want, a synergy off a combo. You could put the Leper if you want here. You could put the Crusader if you want here, and you can get stunning blows off of that. You can put the Man-at-Arms here and Master Rampart and get a stun like that. So this is a combo comp that is mostly centered around this synergy here, which is start in the 2, Bonnie starts in the 2, Dragonflies, and then you're able to finale relatively soon after that and make the fight, like I said, give you a little bit of control around the fight, because one of the enemies is probably dead or close to being dead. So if you guys like the ideas of these videos of talking about kind of like synergies and comps and things that work out pretty well, I mean, I can make a million of these because I have way too many hours in this game. If you guys have any requests and say like, hey, you can either drop it in the comments or you can drop by my stream and say like, hey, I want to try out Intrepid Duelist. Do you have any recommendations? Or do you, you know, I want to try out Yellow Hand Man-at-Arms, or Yellow Hand Highwayman, sorry. Do you have any recommendations? I can kind of steer you in the right direction. And I can give you pretty much as much guidance or as little guidance as you want, whatever makes your, whatever gives you some ideas, and you can kind of work it away from there. So again, feel free to stop by my Twitch stream, subscribe if you would like to, because it'd make me happy, or don't. I mean, more power to you. But either way, I appreciate you guys watching the video. So have a fantastic rest of your day, and thank you for watching.